The salty tang of the Tyrrhenian Sea was a familiar comfort to Marcus as he surveyed the bustling marketplace of Ostia. His smile, as warm as the Italian sun after a winter's chill, crinkled the corners of his eyes, and his voice, as smooth as aged Tuscan wine, could charm the barnacles off a shipwreck. Treasures of the Mare Nostrum, his shop, was a symphony of exotic silks from the east, gleaming amphorae overflowing with Cretan olive oil, and intricately carved Phoenician statuettes. Each item whispered tales of faraway lands and daring journeys, testaments to Marcus's keen eye for quality and his knack for striking a fair bargain. But success, like a siren's song, can lure unsuspecting sailors onto treacherous rocks. Gaius, a man whose shadow seemed perpetually cast by a storm cloud, watched Marcus's rise with a covetous glint in his cold, reptilian eyes. He ran a rival shop, aptly named the Gilded Serpent, choked with overpriced, dusty trinkets and an air thick with suspicion. Gaius's customers scurried in and out, leaving not with smiles but with a sense of being cheated by his abrasive manner and inflated prices. One sweltering afternoon, Gaius slithered into Treasures of the Mare Nostrum, his oily smile a stark contrast to the genuine warmth radiating from Marcus. He proposed a partnership, his voice dripping with false sincerity. A voyage to a newly discovered land, rumored to be overflowing with exotic spices and jewels, awaited them. The profit margins, Gaius assured Marcus with a theatrical flourish, would be enough to make them emperors. A cold dread snaked through Marcus. He knew Gaius's reputation. Whispers of ruthless tactics and backroom deals followed him like a foul stench. The details of the deal, too good to be true, confirmed his suspicions. Marcus, a student of Stoicism, believed in reason and virtue. He politely declined, citing the risks of an unknown market and the importance of loyalty to his established trade routes. The carefully constructed smile on Gaius's face vanished, replaced by a sneer that could curdle milk. Spurned, a venomous rage contorted his face, a stark contrast to Marcus's calm demeanor. Gaius left with a hissed threat that hung heavy in the air, leaving Marcus with a knot of unease twisting in his gut. Over the following weeks, rumors slithered through the marketplace like vipers. Whispers of Marcus's financial instability and shady dealings reached the ears of his loyal customers. Marcus felt a surge of anger, a betrayal of the trust he'd built with them. He'd poured his life savings into his business, built on a foundation of honesty and fair prices. But remembering the Stoic teachings on emotional control, he quelled his anger. He addressed the rumors with a public proclamation, his voice steady yet firm. He presented his financial records for all to see, invited skeptics to inspect his wares, and challenged the source of the slander. His loyal customers, accustomed to his warm smile and genuine demeanor, recognized the truth in his words. They rallied behind him, their trust unwavering. Meanwhile, Gaius's tactics backfired spectacularly. His desperation and underhanded methods became transparent. His customers, already suspicious, saw through his lies. His business dwindled to a trickle, and his reputation lay in tatters. One day, Marcus saw Gaius slinking out of the city gate, a defeated figure carrying a meager pack. The air felt lighter, as if a dark cloud had finally lifted from the marketplace. Marcus's victory wasn't just about triumph over a rival. It was a testament to the power of Stoicism. He faced adversity with reason, protected his reputation with honesty, and ultimately, his virtue proved to be his greatest weapon. Gaius, blinded by greed and malice, fell victim to his own deceitful ways. In the bustling heart of Ostia, amidst the cacophony of commerce and the ebb and flow of human interaction, Marcus stood as a beacon of Stoic wisdom, a reminder that true wealth lies in integrity, not ill-gotten gains. His story, whispered amongst the stalls of the marketplace, became a cautionary tale for those tempted by shadows, and a source of inspiration for those who dared to navigate the world with open hearts and clear minds. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We've all been there, right? You meet someone new, someone who seems to check all the boxes. They're charming, funny, maybe even successful. They shower you with compliments and make you feel like $1,000,000. But then, as time goes on, a little voice in your head starts to raise an eyebrow. Maybe something they say just doesn't quite align with their actions, or perhaps there's a certain coldness in their eyes that sends a shiver down your spine. The truth is, navigating the complexities of human relationships can be a minefield. We all crave connection, and sometimes we might overlook red flags in our eagerness to find a friend, a confidant, or even a romantic partner. But what if there were ways to spot these red flags before they explode in our faces, leaving us feeling hurt, confused, or even worse? That's where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism isn't some dusty old philosophy reserved for history buffs. It's a practical guide for living a meaningful and fulfilling life, and that includes building healthy, supportive relationships. In today's video, we're going to be drawing on Stoic principles to equip you with the tools you need to identify people who might not be who they seem. We won't be using the term evil in a religious sense, but rather to describe someone who prioritizes their own desires above the well-being of others, and who might be willing to manipulate or exploit those around them to get ahead. By understanding these red flags, you'll be better equipped to protect yourself from negative influences and build the kind of relationships that truly nourish your soul. So, whether you're dealing with a difficult colleague, a friend who seems to take more than they give, or even a family member whose behavior leaves you questioning their motives, this video will be your guide. Join us as we delve into the wisdom of Stoicism and discover how to avoid getting fooled by those who might not have your best interests at heart. 1. Charming facades. Let's face it, we've all been there. You meet someone new, someone who seems like they've stepped out of a casting call for the perfect friend or ideal partner. They're funny, intelligent, maybe even successful. They weave compliments into every conversation, making you feel like $1,000,000. But then, as time goes on, a little voice in your head starts to raise an eyebrow. Maybe a comment they make just doesn't quite line up with their actions, or perhaps there's a certain coldness in their eyes that sends a shiver down your spine. It's like they're wearing a mask, a charming facade that hides something else entirely. So, how do we navigate these situations? How do we tell the difference between genuine warmth and calculated charm? Well, that's where things get interesting. In today's world, where social media profiles are curated and first impressions are paramount, it can be easy to get fooled by someone who's a master of putting on a show. But there are actually some red flags to watch out for, signs that someone's charm might be a little too good to be true. One of the biggest giveaways is a dissonance between words and actions. From a psychological standpoint, this inconsistency taps into the concept of cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort we experience when holding conflicting beliefs or attitudes. Someone who's genuinely kind and caring will show it through their behavior, not just their words. They'll be there for you when you need them, offering unwavering support and encouragement. Their actions will always be the melody that harmonizes with the lyrics of their sweet talk. But someone with deceptive charm might shower you with compliments, tell you exactly what you want to hear, but then disappear when you actually need something. Their words are empty promises, strategically crafted to manipulate you and gain your trust. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to hold the entire room captive with their charm? Their smile is as disarming as a summer breeze. Their jokes land perfectly, and their words weave a spell that draws you in. It's like they possess an invisible magnetic field, pulling you closer with every witty remark and charming anecdote. We've all been there, captivated by someone who seems to radiate an effortless magnetism. But the Stoic proverb, "Appearances can be deceptive," offers a crucial reminder. What glitters on the surface might not be gold. The Stoics, those philosophers known for their emphasis on reason and virtue, were keenly aware of the dangers lurking beneath a charming facade. They believed in the importance of looking beyond the initial impression and discerning the true nature of things. In the context of charm, this proverb warns us not to be fooled by outward charisma. Someone might seem effortlessly likable, showering you with compliments and projecting an air of positivity. But the Stoics urge us to dig deeper. Genuine charisma, in the Stoic view, stems from a wellspring of inner strength and genuine concern for others. It's a byproduct of a virtuous character, someone who embodies courage, wisdom, and fairness. Their actions align with their words, inspiring those around them to be better versions of themselves. Imagine a leader who rallies their team not with empty flattery, but with a clear vision and unwavering support. That's the power of genuine charisma. Deceptive charm, however, is a different beast altogether. It's rooted in self-interest, a tool wielded to mask ulterior motives and gain power. These individuals use their charm to manipulate emotions and exploit vulnerabilities. Their words are empty promises, designed to win trust and influence you for their own benefit. Think of it like a stage play, a meticulously crafted act that crumbles when you look for the substance behind the charm. Imagine a colleague who uses their charm to deflect blame for their mistakes, leaving you holding the bag. That's the manipulative power of deceptive charm. So, how do we, like the Stoics, cultivate the discernment to see through this deceptive facade? Here are some tips. Focus on virtue. Develop your own inner strength by cultivating core values like courage and honesty. This makes you less susceptible to manipulation and allows you to build genuine connections based on mutual respect. Actions speak louder. Don't be fooled by sweet talk. Observe how someone's behavior aligns with their words. Do they follow through on their promises? Do they treat others with respect, even when it's not convenient? Trust your gut. Intuition can be a powerful tool. If something feels off about someone's charm, listen to that voice. Maybe their compliments seem a bit too eager, their jokes a touch too mean-spirited, or their promises ring hollow when push comes to shove. Maintain emotional control. Deceptive charmers often exploit emotions to manipulate. Stoicism encourages emotional control. Don't let flattery or guilt cloud your judgment. Ultimately, the Stoic perspective reminds us that true leadership and influence aren't built on charm alone. They're rooted in integrity, reason, and a genuine desire to help others. By focusing on these principles, we can learn to navigate the complexities of human interaction with wisdom and clarity, ensuring that we're not swayed by the alluring song of deceptive charm. We can become more like the Stoics themselves, discerning individuals who see through the superficial and value genuine connections built on trust and shared values. Psychologists have explored the concept of confirmation bias, where we tend to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs. Deceptive charm exploits this bias. By showering you with compliments and mirroring your positive self-image, they create a sense of validation and confirmation. This, in turn, makes you more likely to overlook inconsistencies and downplay any red flags that might arise. Another red flag is the use of charm for personal gain. Genuine connections are built on mutual respect, shared interests, and a sense of emotional reciprocity. But someone with deceptive charm might only be interested in what they can get from you. They might shower you with attention until they get what they want, then suddenly lose interest. They might guilt you into doing things for them or play on your emotions to get ahead. Be wary of someone whose charm seems conditional, only present when it serves their purpose. Excessive flattery can also be a sign of trouble. We all crave social validation, and compliments can trigger the release of dopamine, a feel-good neurotransmitter in the brain. But there's a difference between a sincere compliment and someone laying it on a bit too thick. Someone with deceptive charm might constantly tell you how amazing you are, how special you are, how nobody else understands you like they do. It might feel good at first, but it's a tactic to inflate your ego and make you more susceptible to their manipulation. Psychologists have explored this phenomenon as love bombing, an intense showering of affection used to establish emotional dependence and control. True friends will compliment you, but they'll also be honest with you. They won't try to turn you into someone you're not, and they'll offer constructive criticism when needed. By being aware of these signs and staying grounded, you can avoid getting fooled by deceptive charm and build genuine, lasting relationships based on authenticity and mutual respect. Remember, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't be afraid to take things slow and get to know someone before letting them in too close. After all, genuine connections take time and effort to cultivate, and they're far more rewarding than the fleeting charm of a manipulator strolling through a bustling marketplace, the air thick with the aroma of exotic spices and the cacophony of bartering vendors. Suddenly, you witness a scene that chills you to the bone. A heated argument erupts between two people. One individual, clearly distraught, pleads with the other, their voice trembling on the verge of tears. The other person, completely unfazed, they meticulously polish a gleaming apple, their gaze fixed solely on the reflection. This chilling indifference, this utter disregard for the emotional turmoil they've caused, sends a shiver down your spine. We, as social creatures, crave connection, the ability to step into another's shoes and feel their joys and sorrows. But what happens when someone seems utterly devoid of empathy and uses that lack to manipulate and control others? Buckle up, because we're about to delve into the tangled web of manipulation tactics and why, especially through the lens of Stoic philosophy, it can be a major red flag for dealing with someone who might not exactly be, well, sunshine and rainbows. 2. Emotional void. You know that feeling, right? You're sharing a hilarious story with a friend, and their laughter explodes like fireworks next to yours. Or maybe someone you care about is in the trenches, facing a tough time, and you offer a hug that speaks volumes more than words ever could. That's the magic of connection, the invisible thread that weaves us together. It's the ability to climb into another person's skin, to feel their joys erupt within you and their sorrows tug at your heartstrings. It's the reason a stranger's unexpected smile can light up your day, and a friend's tears can make yours well up. But picture this: you're chilling at a cafe, engrossed in a captivating book. Suddenly, a heated argument erupts at the next table. One person is clearly distraught, voice wobbling with emotion. The other person, they're glued to their phone, completely unfazed, as if the outburst is just background noise. It's that chilling indifference, that inability to even acknowledge the emotional turmoil they've caused, that sends shivers down your spine. This absence of empathy, this inability to connect on a human level, can be a major red flag, can manifest in all sorts of ways. Think about the office bully who throws out snide remarks, leaving emotional scars long after the workday ends. Or the seemingly charming friend who constantly pushes your buttons, oblivious to the hurt their words inflict. These might seem like minor things, but when they happen chronically and with zero remorse, they paint a concerning picture. They reveal someone who prioritizes their own desires with a total disregard for the emotional well-being of those around them. Or, imagine yourself enjoying a quiet afternoon at a cafe, lost in a captivating novel. Suddenly, a heated argument erupts at the next table. One person's voice trembles with raw emotion, their distress palpable. The other person, completely unfazed, glued to their phone as if the outburst is mere background noise. This chilling indifference, This inability to even acknowledge the emotional turmoil they've caused sends a shiver down your spine. We, as humans, crave connection, that ability to step into another's shoes and feel their joys and sorrows. But what happens when someone seems utterly devoid of this empathy? The ancient Greek philosophy of Stoicism offers a unique perspective on this question. Now, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions entirely. It emphasizes reason and self-discipline as the cornerstones of a virtuous life, but it doesn't advocate for becoming emotionless robots. Stoics understood the importance of empathy, not just as a way to connect with others, but also as a key to understanding ourselves. After all, how can you truly understand your own emotions if you can't recognize and feel for the emotions of others? Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca saw humanity as a web of interconnected threads. We're all part of something bigger, they argued, and treating each other with fairness and compassion is essential. So, someone who lacks empathy? They're not just flawed on a personal level. They're actively contributing to a disharmony that ripples throughout society. This is why Stoicism encourages us to respond to a lack of empathy with wisdom and compassion, rather than anger or frustration. The truth is, encountering people devoid of empathy can be incredibly frustrating. But Stoicism teaches us the value of maintaining a rational perspective and inner calm. We're encouraged to remember that other people's actions are ultimately beyond our control. It's about looking at the bigger picture, the cosmic perspective, as the Stoics called it. We're all part of this vast, interconnected universe governed by natural laws. From this cosmic viewpoint, a lack of empathy appears as a glitch in the system. It's a deviation from the natural order, a failure to recognize our role as social beings who can contribute to a more harmonious world. By cultivating empathy and compassion, we align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe. We become active participants in creating a society where understanding and support, rather than indifference and disregard, become the norm. So, while Stoicism might prioritize reason and inner peace, it certainly recognizes the vital role empathy plays in shaping our lives and the lives of those around us. It equips us with the tools to navigate situations where empathy seems absent, not by succumbing to negativity, but by fostering a sense of understanding and a commitment to acting virtuously. In a world that often feels divided, Stoicism offers a path towards greater connection and a more harmonious existence, one act of empathy at a time. Now, here's the thing. Empathy goes beyond just feeling sorry for someone. It's about truly inhabiting their experience. Imagine confiding in someone about a difficult experience. An empathetic person would listen intently, their body language mirroring yours, showing they're truly present. They might offer words of comfort or share a similar story to create a deeper connection. Someone lacking empathy might offer a hollow, "that sucks," or a dismissive shrug. Their response lacks the genuine connection and desire to help that defines true empathy. This lack of empathy extends beyond emotions and spills over into the realm of compassion. Picture walking past someone struggling to carry groceries on a windy day. Someone who grasps their plight might feel a pang of sadness, but someone with compassion would be compelled to offer a helping hand. This calculated lack of action, this unwillingness to ease another's suffering, speaks volumes about a person's moral compass. Listen, not everyone who struggles with empathy is automatically evil. There could be various reasons for it: developmental disorders, past traumas, or even cultural differences. The key is to pay attention to their actions and overall character. Someone who consistently displays a lack of empathy, who seems indifferent to the suffering they cause, and who actively exploits the vulnerabilities of others raises serious concerns. Ultimately, a lack of empathy is a chilling sign, a red flag that warns you of a possible encounter with a troubled soul. It severs the connection that binds us as humans, rendering them incapable of grasping the impact of their actions on others. By recognizing this chilling absence, we can navigate our interactions with greater caution and protect ourselves from those who lack the empathy essential for genuine human connection. Remember, fostering empathy within ourselves is crucial because it's the cornerstone of a just and compassionate society. It's what allows us to build meaningful relationships, create a supportive environment, and ultimately make the world a better place, one act of empathy at a time. 3. Tangled webs. Let us tell you about a story, then you may better understand why we say this sign shows that you're dealing with an evil person. Once, in the ancient city of Athens, there lived a man named Marcus. Marcus was known throughout the city for his wisdom, integrity, and unwavering commitment to Stoic principles. Despite facing numerous challenges in his life, Marcus remained steadfast in his pursuit of virtue and inner tranquility. One day, as Marcus was walking through the bustling marketplace, he witnessed a troubling scene. A group of merchants were engaged in a heated argument, each one accusing the other of dishonesty and deceit. The air was thick with tension as bystanders watched anxiously, unsure of what would happen next. Marcus approached the group, his expression calm and composed. Sensing his presence, the merchants fell silent, their eyes turning towards him in curiosity. Marcus listened patiently as each merchant presented their side of the story, carefully weighing their words and considering the evidence. After hearing from all parties involved, Marcus spoke with clarity and conviction. He reminded the merchants of the Stoic principles of honesty, integrity, and justice, urging them to set aside their differences and seek a resolution that was fair to all. Despite their initial reluctance, the merchants eventually agreed to abide by Marcus's judgment, recognizing the wisdom and authority in his words. In the days that followed, Marcus worked tirelessly to mediate the dispute, carefully considering each merchant's concerns and striving to find a solution that honored the principles of Stoicism. Through his efforts, he was able to bring about a resolution that satisfied all parties involved, restoring harmony and trust to the marketplace. The story of Marcus and the merchants spread throughout Athens, inspiring others to emulate his example of virtue and integrity. In times of conflict and uncertainty, Marcus's unwavering commitment to Stoic principles served as a beacon of hope and guidance, reminding all who encountered him of the power of reason, compassion, and justice. As the years passed, Marcus continued to embody the teachings of Stoicism in his daily life, facing each challenge with courage, resilience, and a steadfast dedication to the pursuit of virtue. And though he encountered many trials along the way, Marcus remained true to himself and his principles, leaving behind a legacy that would endure for generations to come. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, a symphony of exotic spices fills the air, mingling with the raucous cries of bartering vendors. As you weave through the vibrant throng, a scene unfolds that sends a shiver down your spine. Two figures clash in a heated exchange. One, clearly distraught, pleads with the other, their voice trembling on the brink of tears. The other, completely indifferent, meticulously polishing a gleaming apple, their gaze locked solely on its reflection. This chilling lack of empathy, this blatant disregard for the emotional turmoil they've caused, lays bare a truth as unsettling as it is important. Manipulation thrives in the absence of empathy. Manipulation isn't always a roaring storm. It can be a subtle breeze, whispering backhanded compliments that erode your self-confidence. Or it can be a forceful wind, battering you with guilt trips until you cave to their demands. Regardless of the form it takes, the core remains the same. A manipulator prioritizes their own desires over your well-being, exploiting your emotions as tools to achieve their goals. Imagine empathy as a bridge, a vital connection that allows us to step into another's shoes and experience their joys and sorrows. A manipulator, however, has no need for bridges. They seek puppets on strings. They orchestrate your emotions, twisting them into a web of guilt, fear, or obligation, compelling you to dance to their tune. This absence of empathy is a glaring red flag, a stark warning that you're dealing with someone who prioritizes their own agenda over your well-being. The Stoics, those ancient Greek philosophers renowned for their emphasis on reason and virtue, would undoubtedly agree that a lack of empathy is a troubling sign. However, their perspective might offer a slightly different angle. Stoicism doesn't advocate for the complete suppression of emotions. It champions the power of reason and virtuous action. However, they view strong emotions as potential roadblocks, clouding judgment and leading to impulsive decisions. So, while a Stoic might not experience the same surge of empathy you do in the cafe scenario, their commitment to reason and justice might still compel them to intervene if the situation escalated or the distressed individual needed help. This brings us to the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy: virtue. Imagine someone who consistently displays a lack of empathy, indifference to suffering, and actively exploits others. The Stoics would likely view this as a blatant disregard for key virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. A truly virtuous person, according to the Stoics, strives to understand the impact of their actions on others and acts with fairness and compassion. A manipulator, on the other hand, prioritizes their own desires and happiness at the expense of others, a clear deviation from the Stoic ideal. The most unsettling aspect? Manipulators can be incredibly charming and charismatic. They can weave a web of deceit so intricate, so believable, that you begin to question your own sanity. This is precisely why trusting your gut instinct is paramount, and the Stoics would wholeheartedly endorse this notion. They believed in living a life guided by reason and clear judgment, which includes being aware of how your emotions are being manipulated. We're not advocating for the immediate ostracization of everyone who ever makes you feel uncomfortable. We all make mistakes, and occasional missteps are inevitable. However, if a pattern of manipulation emerges, if someone consistently exploits your emotions to control you, decisive action is necessary. This may involve establishing firm boundaries, distancing yourself from the person, or even seeking professional help. Remember, you deserve to be in healthy relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Don't ignore the warning signs. It's a glaring indicator that you're dealing with someone who prioritizes their own desires over your well-being. By recognizing these red flags and taking steps to protect yourself, you can navigate the tangled webs of manipulation and cultivate a life brimming with genuine connections and healthy relationships. After all, as the Stoics remind us, living a virtuous life requires not just reason, but also the wisdom to discern and avoid those who exploit the absence of empathy for their own gain. For the tyrant within. Alright, buckle up because we're about to dive into the murky waters of deciphering good from bad, specifically focusing on that chilling lack of empathy. The fourth sign: you might be dealing with someone not exactly sunshine and rainbows. Now hold on a tight section. We all get frustrated, step on toes unintentionally, and maybe your boss micromanages a bit much. That doesn't automatically make them Darth Vader in disguise. Here's the key difference. A truly bad person, someone who sends shivers down your spine with a gut feeling of not okay, often lacks empathy in a way that's fundamentally different. Imagine empathy as your emotional X-ray vision. It lets you peer into the soul of another, feel their joys and sorrows on a deeper level. It's the cornerstone of compassion, the glue that binds genuine connection. Now, a bad person? They're like a villain who ripped out that empathy gene. They just don't get it. The pain they cause, the fallout from their actions on others, it registers as a big, fat zero. It's all about them, their needs, their desires, like characters in a self-centered play where everyone else is just scenery. Remember that time you were feeling utterly defeated, and your friend just didn't seem to grasp the depth of your despair? Maybe they brushed it off with a forced pep talk or even a joke that landed with a thud. Not cool, definitely not the best response, but probably not a sign of lurking evil. But a bad person? They wouldn't even attempt to understand. They might even exploit your vulnerability, twisting the knife a little deeper for their own amusement. You become a pawn in their twisted game, your emotions their playthings. They pull the strings, manipulate your feelings, all to get ahead. Maybe they guilt-trip you for something you didn't even do, or play the victim card so masterfully you start questioning your own sanity. It's all about control, about making you feel perpetually indebted, the one responsible for their happiness. Now, here's the kicker. Bad people can be Oscar-worthy actors. Charming, charismatic, even funny on the surface. They weave a web of lies and half-truths that make you doubt your own judgment. That's why trusting your gut instinct is paramount. If something feels off, if that red flag of a lack of empathy keeps waving in your face, listen to it. Don't ignore the warning signs. Here's where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. The Stoics, those ancient Greek philosophers known for their emphasis on reason and virtue, would wholeheartedly agree. A lack of empathy is a major red flag, but they might approach it from a slightly different angle. Stoicism isn't about burying your emotions under a mountain of denial. It's about acknowledging them, understanding their fleeting nature, and not letting them cloud your judgment. So, a Stoic might not experience the same surge of empathy you do in the face of someone else's despair. However, their commitment to reason and justice might still compel them to intervene if the situation escalated or if the distressed person needed help. The core of Stoic philosophy revolves around virtue. Imagine someone who consistently displays a lack of empathy, indifference to suffering, and actively exploits others. The Stoics would likely view this as a blatant disregard for key virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. A truly virtuous person, according to the Stoics, strives to understand the impact of their actions on others and acts with fairness and compassion. A manipulator, on the other hand, prioritizes their own desires and happiness at the expense of others, a clear deviation from the Stoic ideal. Remember, we're not advocating for immediate social exile for everyone who ever makes you feel a tad uncomfortable. We all make mistakes, and occasional missteps are inevitable. However, if a pattern of manipulation emerges, if someone consistently exploits your emotions to control you, decisive action is necessary. This may involve establishing firm boundaries, distancing yourself from the person, or even seeking professional help. You deserve to be in healthy relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. So, the next time you encounter someone devoid of empathy, someone who uses that absence to manipulate you, don't ignore the warning signs. It's a glaring indicator that you're dealing with someone who prioritizes their own desires over your well-being. By recognizing these red flags and taking steps to protect yourself, you can navigate the tangled webs of manipulation and build a life brimming with genuine connections and healthy relationships. After all, as the Stoics remind us, living a virtuous life requires not just reason, but also the wisdom to discern and avoid those who exploit the absence of empathy for their own gain. 5. Fabrications unveiled. Let's talk about another telltale sign that you might be dealing with someone not so great: pathological lying. You know, those folks who seem to spin a web of lies faster than you can say fib. It's like they've got a PhD in deception, weaving intricate stories without batting an eyelash. And the thing is, they don't just lie every now and then. It's a way of life for them. They lie without a second thought, without a shred of remorse, all to manipulate situations or gain something for themselves. It's like they're playing a never-ending game of chess, and everyone else is just a pawn in their grand scheme. What's really unsettling about pathological liars is how convincing they can be. I mean, they could sell ice to an Eskimo with their smooth-talking ways. Their lies are so elaborate, so detailed, that it's hard to tell fact from fiction. You find yourself nodding along, believing every word they say, only to realize later that you've been duped. It's like falling down a rabbit hole of deceit, and once you're in, it's tough to find your way out. But here's the real deal. They're not just lying to you, they're lying to themselves too. They've built this whole alternate reality where they're the hero of their own story, and everyone else is just a supporting character. They'll twist the truth until it's unrecognizable, and then they'll expect you to believe every word they say. It's like they're living in a world of make-believe, and they'll do whatever it takes to drag you into their fantasyland. Now, you might be thinking, but why do they do it? What's the point of all these lies? Well, it's simple: power and control. Pathological liars thrive on manipulation, using their web of lies to pull the strings and get what they want. They'll lie about anything and everything if it means coming out on top, from their job title to their relationship status to what they had for breakfast. It's all fair game in their quest for dominance. And the scariest part? They don't feel bad about it. There's no guilt, no remorse, just a cold, calculated desire to get ahead at any cost. They'll lie with a smile on their face and a twinkle in their eye, charming their way into your trust before you even realize what's happening. It's like they're playing a game of emotional chess, moving their pieces with precision while you're left scrambling to catch up. So, how do you spot a pathological liar? Well, it's not always easy. They're masters of deception, after all. But there are a few red flags to watch out for. Pay attention to inconsistencies in their stories, exaggerated claims about their achievements, and a general sense of unease or mistrust when you're around them. And most importantly, trust your gut. If something feels off, chances are it probably is. In conclusion, pathological lying is a major sign that you're dealing with someone who might not have your best interests at heart. These individuals lie without hesitation or remorse, using deception as a tool to manipulate and control others. Their lies are elaborate and convincing, making it difficult to discern the truth from fiction. But by staying vigilant and trusting your instincts, you can protect yourself from falling victim to their web of deceit. Remember, you deserve honesty and respect in your relationships. Don't let a pathological liar rob you of that. We've cracked open the toolbox and examined 5 key indicators that might signal you're not exactly sharing sunshine and rainbows with someone. Remember, this isn't an exhaustive checklist, and everyone makes mistakes. But if these red flags keep popping up like weeds in a garden, choking out healthy growth, if your inner voice is blaring a fire alarm, heed its insistent warning. Don't be afraid to establish firm boundaries, a metaphorical fence to create distance, or even seek support from a trusted friend, therapist, or professional. You deserve healthy, uplifting relationships that act as springboards, launching pads propelling you forward, not anchors dragging you down into murky depths. The silver lining? Recognizing these red flags is a power move, a strategic maneuver in the game of life. It's wresting control of your life and declaring, "Not on my watch, evil." It's like equipping yourself with metaphorical eagle eyes to pierce through the manipulative haze, a thick fog obscuring your vision. Now, you can navigate the world with the wisdom of a seasoned traveler who's seen it all, and the confidence of a champion who knows their worth. Don't forget that the Stoics, those champions of reason and virtue, offer invaluable wisdom, a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be explored. When faced with someone embodying these red flags, don't let your emotions take the reins, becoming a runaway horse leading you astray. Instead, take a deep, centering breath, a moment of calm amidst the storm, and assess the situation with a cool head. Prioritize your own well-being, placing your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. Don't get sucked into their vortex of drama, a swirling mass of negativity, or manipulated by their underhanded tactics, a web of deceit designed to ensnare you. Finally, cultivate your own personal garden of virtue. Be the embodiment of honesty, a beacon of truth in a world that can be shrouded in shadows. Be kindness itself, radiating warmth and compassion to those around you. Be courage personified, standing up for what's right even when it's difficult. By radiating these virtues, you not only attract positive people into your life, kindred spirits drawn to your light, but also become less susceptible to the manipulations of those who lack them. So, keep your chin up, held high with pride in who you are. Trust your gut, that inner compass guiding you on your journey. Remember, you possess the strength, a shield to protect yourself, the discernment to make wise choices, and the wisdom to navigate the world with grace and resilience. You've got this, and with the knowledge you've gained today, you're even more prepared to face whatever challenges life throws your way. Now, go out there and live your best life, surrounded by people who deserve your light,